Hi there, this is Zen Programmer. Today we're going to talk about how to become a Web3 GameFi developer in 2023, which is gaming as a service trend. Web3 gaming and gaming as a service, it's an exciting new world that integrates blockchain technology into the gaming system. This allows for decentralized, consensus-based gaming development, crypto rewards, NFTs, asset trading, and interoperability between platforms. Gaming as a service allows users to access communities to participate games on demand from inception to deployment. It provides a turnkey for game developers, publishers, and other stakeholders to create and monetize. But before we get into the development process, we have to understand the fundamentals of play-to-earn game design, play-and-earn game design, blockchain integration, smart contract development, and deployment. First, we need to understand the building block of this ecosystem: the blockchain, the crypto, DeFi, NFTs, gaming, metaverse, and crypto games. For game developers, the new concept of gaming as a service provides the all-in-one for creating, distributing, and making money from games without having to worry about the technical aspects of hosting, integrating into the blockchain, and delivering the game to users. So the developers can focus on developing games. GameFi is a way to bring together the world of gaming and cryptocurrency. It creates a system where players can earn rewards for playing games, which helps to sustain the gaming economy. This GameFi ecosystem has evolved in 3 stages. The first is focused on making games more efficient and secure. The second is to focus on creating scarcity and ownership for the in-game assets. And the third is about using blockchain technology to create more democratic game economies that are run by players instead of big corporations. The game development process refers to all the steps users involved in creating a decentralized game. This includes designing the game, building the game, testing it, and deploying it with the community's participation. In addition, there are several roles involved in a project, such as game designer and developers. There are also various tools used for game development, and one approach is gaming as a service, which allows users to access games on demand from inception to deployment. Finally, there are 4 metrics for video game project management, which helps to ensure the success of the game development process. The 4 metrics for video game project management are like a ruler to measure how well a video game project is doing. These rulers include things like how much it costs to get new players, how long a player might stick around and keep playing, how many people play every day, and how many people play each month. These rulers are really helpful for developers because they can figure out if their plans are working well and see how much players like the game and spot things they can improve. It's like keeping a score to make sure the game stays on track and the game is a success. Before we start with the game development process, we need to set up our development environment. This includes setting up an IDE, installing MetaMask in your browser, installing different game environments. Once we're set up, we can start writing our first smart contract. To do that, we need to understand Solidity, the programming language used to develop smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. We need to take a deep dive into Solidity, covering topics like introduction to Solidity, beginners to intermediate, different units in Ethereum, how to handle errors. Now that we know Solidity, after that we can talk about the advantages and use cases of smart contracts. Smart contract development, the smart contract vulnerabilities and attacks, such as re-entrancy attack, integer overflow, underflow, vulnerability, and how to risk mitigate in different environments. Once we understand smart contract, we can move on to the game development process. Now this gets more exciting. This process involves 3 stages of planning, blockchain, backend, front-end. In the beginning planning stage of the game development, the team first discusses the project's goal and objectives. This ensures that everyone is on the same page and working towards the same goal. Next, they can create sketches of the game's interface and functionality called wireframes to map out game's design and ensure all necessary elements are included. After that, the game chooses designing tools and such as software, the necessary to create game's graphic and user interface. They create the final design, including characters, environments, animation, and sound effects that aligns with a wireframe and the project's goal. The planning stage is crucial in a game development process since it lays the foundation for the project and ensures everyone is on the same page. By mapping out the game's design and functionality in advance, the team can create a successful and engaging game. During the blockchain stage of the game development, the team will work on integrating blockchain technology into the game. This involves setting up and installing the necessary tools and software, as well as deploying smart contracts and test cases. For example, if a game involves the use of cryptocurrency, the team will need to set up a cryptocurrency wallet and integrate it into the game. They will also need to deploy smart contracts to ensure the transactions are secure and transparent. Additionally, the team will need to test the smart contract to ensure that they function as intended. This may involve running of simulations or performing real-world transactions to identify any potential issues or bugs. Overall, the blockchain stage is a critical part of the game development for games that incorporate any type of blockchain technology. Now we're onto the game development stage, backend. During the backend stage of the game development, the team will focus on setting up the technology and infrastructure that supports the game's functionality. This includes establishing the backend dependencies, which are essentially the other programs and technologies that the game relied on to function properly. For example, if the game relies on the database to store players' information, the team will need to establish the connection between the game and the database. They will also need to install any necessary software and tools to set up the database. Another important aspect of the backend stage is configuring routes. This means setting up the path that the data will take within the game. For instance, when a player interacts with a certain element in a game, such as a character or a weapon, the backend needs to handle that interaction and where to direct that resulting data. In the blockchain stage mentioned earlier, setting up smart contract and test cases were important for ensuring the reliability and security of the game's transactions. In the backend stage, setting up ethers is another example of ensuring game security. Such ethers is a technology used to manage the game's financial transactions. Overall, the backend stage is critical for establishing the technical foundation that supports the game's functionality and enables it to run smoothly for players. Now onto the front-end design. In the front-end stage, we focus on parts of the games that the players interact with. The visual interface is what the player sees on their screen when they play the game. During the front-end stage, we set up dependencies, which are basically like tools and resources that we need to build the game's interface. We install these dependencies and configure routes, which means we define how different parts of the game interface with each other. In terms of specific pages, we'll typically have an intro page that introduces the player to the game and its mechanics. This could include a tutorial or basic introduction. Then we'll have a machine page, which is where the players can select the machines they want to use to play the game with. Finally, we'll have the game page itself, which is where the player actually plays the game. For example, in a puzzle game, the intro page might explain the rules and show the players some sample puzzles. The machine page could allow the users to choose different difficulty levels or puzzle types. And the game page will show the puzzles and how to allow players to interact with it by clicking and dragging different pieces. So this concludes the video, how to become a Web3 game, GameFi, gaming as a service developer in 2023 by following the game's development process and understanding the fundamentals of blockchain integration and smart contract development. You can create a fairly impressive decentralized games that allow players to earn rewards for playing games. Keep exploring and learning about the evolving GameFi ecosystem and the endless possibilities it offers. It's certainly very exciting for me. And we hope you found this video helpful, and we will see you next time.